It's hosting season. And this hosting season, you could enter eligible New York Lottery draw game tickets with Collect and Win for a chance to win a $5,000 gift card to use at the Home Depot. So, enter today and make one of the most stressful times of the year a little easier.
The Home Depot is not a sponsor of this promotion. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 or older to purchase a quick draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly. Entered by 1/7/20.
The Tulane Executive MBA program provided me with a perfect combination of soft skills and the confidence necessary to run my biotech company. My name is Trivia Frazier. I'm the president and CEO of Obatala Sciences Incorporated.
Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Shorten Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas. And by Orange Theory Fitness, delivering fitness results for a healthier world.
From Commander's Palace Restaurant in the Garden District in New Orleans, we're out to lunch with Peter Asciutti. Peter Asciutti is Tulane University's A.B. Freeman School of Business professor and director of the award-winning Birkenroad Reports. It's business, New Orleans style.
Hi, I'm Peter Asciutti. Welcome to Out to Lunch. Think about the last time you booked a plane ticket on an online travel website. After you booked the ticket, the website asked if you'd like to book anything else connected to your trip. A rental car, a hotel, a sightseeing tour, restaurant reservations. If you said yes and booked anything else, think about what's going on there technically. The airline reservation software is now interacting with a myriad of other reservation systems and linking them all to your frequent flyer program. The software that powers this complex operation was created by a New Orleanian. Kenneth Purcell created this concept and built it into a software company called callediSeatz. Today, Kenneth's concept is an integral piece of the global online economy. His business is still here in New Orleans, powers clients like American Express and Visa. Kenneth, it is great to see you again. The last time you were here was back in 2012, so we've got quite a bit to catch up on. Welcome back to Out to Lunch.
Thanks for having me.
The amazing thing about the online revolution is the revolution never ends. Things you never even knew you needed have become an integral part of your life and everyone else's life, which is how they became giant businesses like Facebook, Uber, Netflix, and Amazon. Another name you can add to that list is a company called Something Borrowed Blooms. Something Borrowed Blooms rents flowers for weddings. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Something Borrowed Blooms is a wedding flower rental company. They provide high-end artificial flowers for weddings. The artificial flowers look and even smell real, and they come at a fraction of the cost of real flowers. If you're thinking the comparison with Amazon and Uber is ridiculous because this has got to be a niche market and maybe a couple of clients, you are going to need to recalibrate. Since its inception in 2015, Something Borrowed Blooms has grown to 16 employees and handles 400 weddings a month. That number is rapidly moving toward 1,000 weddings a month, and the company is diversifying and expanding under the leadership of its co-founder cousins, Lauren Bercier and Lakin Swan. Lakin is also the Chief Marketing Officer of Something Borrowed Blooms. Lakin, welcome to Out to Lunch.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Kenneth, you've been at this a long time now. Since you founded callediSeatz in 1999, the internet has changed enormously. The demands on your software have changed. The demands on your company have changed. You now have 100 employees, and you're processing billions of dollars a year. We frequently hear stories about the founders of companies who can't make the transition from being the scrappy little creative guy with a great idea to the type of person who can deal with corporate clients and the stresses of running a big business. Not only have you navigated that transition successfully, but callediSeatz continues to be voted one of New Orleans' best places to work year after year. Is the secret to this kind of success hiring a management team who know what they're doing, or is it about keeping a firm hand yourself on the day-to-day running of the company and the company culture?
So culture to me is one of the most important things about the business. Recently, I flattened out the organization. So I went through a process where for years I did have sort of managers and very few direct reports. Recently, I flattened out the top level of the organization, so I had my hands on more of the day-to-day delivery operations to actually install the culture that I thought we were striving to become. So I think as an entrepreneur who's transitioned into an operator, the leap was difficult. The challenges still continue. But the thing that I prize probably most of all are the people that work in my organization, and in order to maintain that high quality of person that I work with, cohort, culture has to be top-notch. So that only comes from the top.
And when you flattened out, that was sort of going back to how you started, where you really were right with those folks.
Yeah, being hands-on for me and understanding the information that's getting passed around, the data about how we're operating, things like our delivery quality, performance, sales, all sorts of things, really helped me appreciate what needed to be tweaked and turned to take the business to the next level. We're a growing business, and I think at times growing from one place to another is, you kind of put a number on the wall and you say, hey, we want our stated objective is to double the business in the next 3 to 5 years. We've done it in the last probably last 4 years. And so in order to go from where we are to where we want to be, I just didn't appreciate the challenge that was going to be there. And the thing that I needed to do before we made that leap or started to run at the leap was actually flatten out the organization and put my hands further in.
Now, Lakin, you and your partner have literally created a whole new industry. Before you started Something Borrowed Blooms, nobody else was renting wedding flowers. Apparently, nobody else had thought of it. Judging by your meteoric growth, you were right about this new market. There's a huge demand from millennial brides for your product. It seems that these brides are not just cost-conscious, they're also opting for the environmentally friendly option of using a recyclable product. When you started out at the end of 2015, other than your own experience as brides, had you done any market research? In other words, is your success catching you by surprise, or were you totally prepared for it?
So I think a little bit of both. We had both taken note of just the adoption of the share trend across many different industries.
It's like the first thing I thought of was like Rent the Runway.
Rent the Runway was our biggest inspiration for sure. We were both using that service and just loved the idea of being able to invest a smaller portion into something that you may only use one time or for a short period of time, be able to have that luxury product but not at the full investment. So that definitely intrigued us, and just seeing other companies like Uber, Airbnb, I mean, you name it, right? There's basically a rental company for just about anything these days. So we looked at that concept and just really tried to find an industry where it really hadn't been fully applied. And at that time, I was in the season of life where I felt like I was going to weddings just about every weekend, and just taking note of the trends and saw, the shift to DIY, brides looking to save money by doing it themselves, which is great if you have that talent. The other, consideration is time, right? Do you have the time to do that? So I saw there was an opportunity there. And then also noticing some brides just looking to save money on their flowers by the choice of their flowers. Maybe they weren't able to get the peonies that they really loved, and they had to sacrifice for something, different, and just really seeing an opportunity for us to introduce high quality silk flowers to brides to allow them to have the flowers of their dreams at a price that was more obtainable. So we see for many of our brides, the price and the value is definitely what helps them make their decision.
Help me out on that. I've never been on the planning side of a wedding. How much does a bride spend on flowers?
So, it varies quite drastically, especially across the country. Here, honestly, you can say a bride would spend around $2,500 to maybe $3,000. Our average wedding flower order is just around $500. So we're literally saving them thousands. Some brides choose to take those savings and, keep it in the bank. Others decide, we're going to use that towards the honeymoon of our dreams.
Open bar.
It was, something really special, right? Which is great. So yeah, we have brides that love the value, and like to your point, we also have brides that just like the sustainability of this product, right? The fact that, they're using it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour for their ceremony, but they're able to pass it on to someone else who is able to get use out of it as well.
It's funny, both both of you, although Kenneth's been in business for 20 years, you have that similar kind of business trajectory, which is incredibly exciting. One thing we have to point out here, because it's radio, and there's no nose in radio, is that these smell great. They look real. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, really. I mean, I remember when artificial flowers were something my mom had, and they looked very plasticky. This is not that at all.
Yeah, so we hand select every single stem. So we'll, dedicate days to just sourcing and curating one collection. So lots of thought and detail go into picking out each individual stem and, the greenery included in each collection. Our boxes are actually scented, so when the blooms arrive to the bride, and she opens up the box, the flowers have that smell and just create those, great memories and that you would have with real fresh flowers. So,
now, Kenneth, what about you've got? I was going to say you have a few huge clients. I guess the way as I'd put it. What's your day-to-day relationship with them?
We operate the business on a 2-week increment. So we operate in 2-week sprints. So it's from a delivery perspective, and that's what I'd say 85% of my team does. We focus on what are we doing today, what are the issues that we're trying to accomplish within the next period, the delivery period, 2 weeks, how did we do on the last one, and what are the trends that are coming through our sort of vast collection of data. We're constantly looking to improve, and being on a 2-week cadence allows us to constantly tune and retool our delivery processes so that we're better. And I think one of the things that I've put at the sort of, we talk about this at our quarterly kickoffs, I talk about it with all of my directs. The two things that I say that I want iSeatz to be known for are for being high quality and fast. I don't want to be cheap. I don't want to be a place where people can come to buy services from at a good value. I want to deliver what I say I'm going to on time and at a very high quality. So we're working to get to that. That's our sort of point of arrival. But the 2-week cadence that we're on allows us to really focus on those two things. So when we engage with our clients, it's usually about what are we doing next sprint? What are we doing in a quarter? What's your roadmap look like? So a lot of our interactions are tactical in terms of tunes and improvements that we can make.
And one of the things that makes you so different from tech companies that we're hearing now, a lot of them going public, is you make money and you have no debt.
Correct.
How do you hang out with these people? You're just not...
I don't hang out with them.
Don't hang out with them. That's...
We've worked a long time to be in the position that we are. I think financially we're somewhat of an anomaly in that we're a profitable cash flow business. We have zero debt and all the headroom available possible in our line of credit. So we like to buy our things in cash and operate that way. It gives me a lot of flexibility when it comes to making decisions and making investment decisions. So, of course, my board leans in when they feel like they want to ask questions, but just generally speaking, we get to invest in what we want to.
And Lakin, we were talking about we were prepared for this kind of growth, but you come from a terrific background. I mean, you were the marketing person at Caesars. Say what you will about casinos, those guys know more about their customers than any industry on the planet. Did that help?
Absolutely. So I worked for Caesars Entertainment for about 10 years before making the transition to this whole new world of entrepreneurship. So yes, it's prepared me in many ways. I mean, Caesars is definitely very data-driven, especially like in their marketing, which I guess initially when we started this quest, I mean, I was inspired by just the ability to go back to the creative space, right? And to really, just make things that are really beautiful and enjoy doing that. And, as we dove deeper into that, I started to have to really, draw on my background of marketing analytics and such in order to, really grow the business, deliver what brides are looking for, optimize inventory. I mean, you name it. I mean, that pretty much anything that we do in our business today, I, had some experience doing in my previous world.
And are we thinking about a giant warehouse somewhere and FedEx shipping them all over the planet? Is that the way it looks?
Absolutely. So our warehouse is actually in Lafayette, And we have probably over 5,000 unique inventory pieces right now. We are in a big growth phase, so we pretty much built a suit. So as the demand comes in, we continue to build out our inventory. We are shipping out on average, I would say, close to 450 weddings per month right now. September was actually a record for us. We were around 499 packages or orders for the month of September. So
You're going to get some FedEx award or something. That's very...
We love FedEx. Our FedEx partners are great, and they help us to deliver on time and to make sure we are timely and make every wedding, which is really important.
You know who doesn't love you? Florists.
Well, I think that there's an opportunity for us to work with florists. There's, again, certain brides that, their budget doesn't allow them to have fresh flowers, and at some point, traditional florists would rather pass that business along rather than sacrifice their brand. So I think there's ways for us to partner with fresh florists. There's, space for everyone in this industry, and obviously we like to be supportive of that.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Lake and Swan from Something Borrowed Blooms. They rent flowers for weddings, and Kenneth Purcell from callediSeatz, the company that powers online travel booking for companies like American Express and Visa. We'll be right back after this very brief break.
Okay, time to get stocking stuffers. I know Megan wants a travel game.
The Container Store.
Candace loves kitchen gadgets, and I'll get Ed one of those digital tape measures.
The Container Store.
Oh, and Mason would love a mini arcade game.
The Container...
I'm sorry. Why do you keep whispering
The Container Store? Because they have all that stuff. I just went and grabbed stocking stuffers for everyone.
Oh, thanks, stranger.
No problem.
Now I just need wrapping paper.
They have that too.
Stuff your stockings with care at the Container Store, where space and holiday cheer comes from.
Want gorgeous curls and waves anytime, anywhere? The Unbound Cordless Auto Curler from Conair lets you experience the power and freedom of beauty in motion. Hair goes into the curl chamber. Perfect curls and waves come out. No cord to hold you back. Your hair, your way. Unplug and be unbound. Get style that lasts all day, whatever your style may be. There's something for everyone in our new line of Unbound Cordless Hair Tools. Available at Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's hosting season, which means it's too many people in the house season.
Can I sit on this? Nope.
Casserole burning in the oven season.
Anyone smell that?
My yams! And Aunt Meg giving advice season.
You should enter eligible New York Lottery draw game tickets with Collect and Win. You could win a $5,000 gift card to use at the Home Depot to make hosting a little easier.
Wow, Aunt Meg, that's actually great advice.
The Home Depot is not a sponsor of this promotion. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 or older to purchase a quick draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly. Enter by 1-7-20.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle.
It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Buckle up, because Metro is bringing you the best deal in wireless. Switch to Metro and get your choice of 2 awesome free phones from top brands like Samsung and LG with huge HD screens and tons of memory for all your pics and videos. So hurry into Metro and get your awesome free phones only at Metro. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires port-in of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Limit 4 per account or household. Restrictions apply. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Geico presents Monster Counseling.
Dracula, tell me how you're feeling.
No one understands how lonely it is. No one will even let me into their house. I knock and I knock, but they ignore me.
Uh-huh. What else?
I look in the mirror and I don't even see myself anymore.
If you don't see yourself clearly, can you really expect others to?
I'm having a breakthrough.
It's not easy to be a vampire. But with Geico, it's super easy to switch and save hundreds on your car insurance.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Lake and Swan from Something Borrowed Blooms. They rent flowers for weddings. And Kenneth Purcell from iSeatz, a company that powers online travel booking for companies like American Express and Visa. Kenneth, since we've been together, last on the show together, we talked about a lot has changed. Well, a lot has changed in New Orleans. We have a lot more technology companies and all of that. What has that done in terms of being able to find good employees for you?
So we welcome new entrants into the market. Of course, from time to time, that does drive up demand for high-quality people, but we're in an industry and a segment where demand for high-quality engineers and related fields is there anyway. So we typically lose people to places like Facebook and Google and Uber and other places out west more than we lose them locally. Of course, we lose our share to, we lost our share to GE when they came to town. We lost a couple of people to DXC. We've lost people off and on over the years to sort of larger, I'd say, branches of these, mega players. But there's a very different atmosphere at iSeatz than there is at a branch location of a multinational organization. Not that interacting with me on a day-to-day basis or seeing me in meetings or hearing my vision for things is necessarily compelling.
I like having you here.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And I'm surprised that my team likes hearing from me. But that's one of the things that it separates us from these other organizations is that, truly you are a number at a company like DXC or someplace like that. At iSeatz, you're one of a few people, right? And I think it's just it's a different thing. Certainly our environment is far superior to theirs as well.
That's showing up in these, best places to work kind of. What is it like a kumbaya kind of tech company? Do you?
No, I wouldn't say that. What we do is we've started engaging our employees in surveys and asking them how we're doing. So that may sound like a fairly obvious thing to do, but we, instead of just listening to what they say about how we're doing, we actually implement the things that they say they want from us. It may seem funny, but last year one of the comments that we got was, what are the iSeatz core values? What are your values? And it's funny because when you start a business, I know a lot of people talk about values and they put values and mission on the wall. And our business model changed so dramatically from the time that I kicked off the business to do online restaurant reservations 20 years ago to what it is today. For me, with the sort of evolution of the way the business model has evolved, putting a mission statement on the wall 10 years ago would not be at all a fair representation of what the business is today. And frankly, we still don't have a mission statement. My mission statement is sort of a financial metric, or my vision is more of a financial metric.
Because you have 4 boys.
Yes, that's right. I've got 4 boys and some shareholders. This is non-academic. And so when we got that feedback, we sort of, I listened to it and I thought, wow, that's really, I can't believe that people don't understand what our values are. So recently we just sort of unveiled our core values. And as I was unveiling these core values at an all-hands meeting, I said, my legacy is not going to be put up a bunch of words on the wall and then not honor what those words mean. I'm not going to have an Enron type scenario where whatever honesty or I think honesty was one of their core values or something like that. Well, obviously how that went down. So actually we put our core values up on the walls, and then within a week of that, I said, hey, we're going to put these up, and my legacy isn't going to be you're going to look at me and go, oh, another corporate executive who puts a bunch of words on the wall and walks by them every day whistling past the graveyard. Actually, we actually sort of immediately implemented a bunch of changes from a personnel perspective, because it's important for me as the business matures and as I understand my role more and more, that we sort of, that I walk the walk, right? And that's part of the reason that I flattened out of the organization. That's part of the reason that we're making the changes that we do, is because we have to, it's important, and I think my employees value that.
And like when you get larger, and it certainly seems that's the direction you're going, do you think you'll have to struggle with other issues like a second distribution facility and things like that. Is that on your plate somewhere already?
It's something that we think about. I'm not sure when that will be, but I think sometime in the future we'll definitely have to look at multiple distribution points to be able to recycle our inventory faster and also just better meet the needs of brides. We recently started to get requests from brides in Alaska, and we've opened up our shipping there. It's a really long time ground, and the rates are high express. So when we I guess start to look at greater demand and just broadening our reach, I think absolutely another distribution center would make sense.
You've really got me thinking. How often can you reuse flowers?
So right now we're on about a 2-week cycle. So we're turning over inventory every 2 weeks.
And does it go away then? The flowers? I mean, how long will they last, I guess?
Our flowers?
Yeah.
So everything that comes back to us goes through quality control. So every single time we're inspecting, and we might change out like one stem or the greenery, ribbon gets exchanged every single time. So it's hard to say, the lifetime of a full bouquet because it's refreshed as needed every single time it's turned around.
Do people steal the stuff?
Not really.
I always take the centerpiece. I guess that would be bad in this
Brides
case.
are often most worried about guests walking out with centerpieces, which I don't understand. I've never been to a wedding and decided to take a centerpiece.
That's because you hang out with a better class of people.
I don't know. I mean, it's a big concern, but I can say that we've never had that happen in the past 4 years. So whatever brides are doing to inform their guests beforehand, or the staff at the reception hall is working. But no, that's actually not an issue. Every now and then a groom's boutonniere will go missing, but it's not a big deal.
All right. You got me thinking about all this now. You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Lake and Swan from Something Borrowed Blooms. They rent out flowers for weddings, and Kenneth Purcell from iSeatz, the company that powers online travel booking for companies like American Express and Visa. Kenneth, I got to ask you a question that everybody's listening to this is thinking is, when we think of tech companies right now, they all get to a certain point and get bought out. But you haven't been bought out. I assume people have approached you.
Yeah, look, those conversations have happened in the past, and I think the answer has not been, the time was not right, and we're still growing the business. We're a profitable, cash flow positive business and have been for a long time. And we see, I think, the future for us is good, and we want to continue to do this. I mean, I think also probably my lack of employability is a driving factor of that. So after you've run your own business your whole career, where else are you going to work? So, I think that probably fends people off pretty quickly.
Now, I know you had other jobs, because didn't you come up with this by being the reservation guy at a restaurant or something?
Yes, I did. That's true. I broke my wrist and had to, I was taking the Access Database class. Actually, it was sort of a combination of a bunch of people's ideas all at once, and I just had the, inspiration and naivete to actually go do something about it. But that's basically how it happened. There was I was taking Access Database classes. I broke my wrist. I couldn't carry a tray anymore, which was a significant hit to my income. And I started writing with my left hand in a logbook, and I thought, boy, I could type this a lot faster. So that was sort of the how, this concept, the how, and also the fact that the internet was kind of coming around in late 97, 98. So that sort of was an enabling factor. Also, there was a Where magazine here was doing something with the CD-ROM and the hotel concierge, and my aunt was the publisher, and so we kind of put all this stuff together and formed this thing 20 years ago, or more than 20 years ago, honestly. So it's been a good journey, but that has kind of nothing to do with what we do today. But it's
certainly a pro-injury answer, though. I've been thinking about different ways you can expand. I'm sure you're spending a lot more time on. What other kind of events might you do?
I think an opportunity for us is definitely meetings, conventions, DMC business. just as weddings, I mean, often planners are ordering flowers for a big convention or, a lunch meeting. And again, it's used for a short period of time. So similar concept, just more for the, corporate sector versus brides.
And is that who your client is a lot of times, the planner?
It varies.
Okay.
We do some business directly with planners. Right now, we're majority directly to the consumer.
And how do you market? Do you put yourself like in Brides Magazine or?
So
I'm really out of my league here.
No, it should not come as a surprise. We're
Facebook.
marketing to millennials, so I mean, social advertising is, where most of our efforts and dollars go, and it's very effective. I mean, to sell our product, the images are really what sell our product. So to be able to circulate, beautiful images of brides with their flowers, and their experience is really effective.
One of the many interesting things about living in New Orleans is that you can be waiting in line at the supermarket and the person in front of you might be an amazing musician or a Hollywood actress. You can be a big star and live here and nobody will treat you any differently than anybody else. The other side of that is the very person who is treating the big star like a regular person might themselves be the guy who invented online reservations or the woman who is disrupting the entire wedding industry. Kenneth and Lakin, you're both modest and humble, but you're both also incredibly talented, hardworking, and deservedly successful. We look forward to keeping up with your continued success and talking again soon. Thank you both for taking the time to join me today on Out to Lunch.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me back.
My guests on Out to Lunch today have been Lakin Swan, co-founder and chief marketing officer of Something Borrowed Blooms, and Kenneth Purcell, the founder and CEO of iSeats. You can find out more about Lakin's and Kenneth's companies by following the links on our website, itsneworleans.com. The producer of our show is Grant Morris, our technical producer is Eric Merle, and our researcher is Maggie Mendel. You can listen to this show and to past episodes of Out to Lunch wherever you get podcasts. You can find all of our podcasts and links to our social media feeds on the podcast network, itsneworleans.com. If you want to know what we look like, including what these flowers look like, this is terrific, you can find photos from today's show on itsneworleans.com and on our social media. These photos were taken today by Jill LaFleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. Out to Lunch is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com and WWNO 89.9 FM. I'm Peter Raschuti. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to meeting you again next week around the table here at Commander's Palace for more business, New Orleans style, on Out to Lunch.
Out to Lunch is recorded live over lunch at Commander's Palace in New Orleans. Commander's Palace serves lunch Monday to Friday, jazz brunch on Saturday and Sunday with live music, and dinner 7 nights a week. Mitchell Foreman wrote and performs all the music on Out to Lunch. You can hear Mitchell's music anywhere great jazz is sold or streamed, and at mitchellforeman.com. Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Short & Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas. And by Basics Swim and Gym and Basics Underneath Fine Lingerie, the It's New Orleans Happy Hour podcast. And by Orange Theory Fitness, delivering fitness results for a healthier world.
It's hosting season, which means it's too many people in the house season.
Can I sit on this? Nope.
Casserole burning in the oven season.
Anyone smell that?
My yams!
And Aunt Meg giving advice season.
You should enter eligible New York Lottery draw game tickets with Collect and Win. You could win a $5,000 gift card to use at the Home Depot to make hosting a little easier.
Wow, Aunt Meg, that's actually great advice.
The Home Depot is not a sponsor of this promotion. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 or older to purchase a quick draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly. Entered by 1/7/20.